Hello, that should be working now. I'll wait for a thumbs up. There's a bit of a lag between the stream and the chat tonight. So anyways, hello, good evening. This is my third attempt at starting the stream. Yeah, I need to figure out how to shut off Discord notifications. I never run it on this computer. One thing worth noting, when I have the Windows box minimized, then audio will stop from the game audio. And I'm just going to try to find Discord in the background here and make sure... Oh my god, why are there so many Discord tasks? Come on, Discord, be gone. Well, hopefully that's that. Anyways, tonight you are streaming with Steve, also known as Elucidus, also known as that guy that stopped the great kaiju raid of last week. I am filling in for Big Ol' Words. It's a little fun thing I like to do once every 2 to 3 months. It's not something I like to do every week, because I've never tried doing it every week. Anyways, again, Bionic Commando Rearmed tonight. Streaming is fun. Let's get to it. So this game was released in 2008. I don't know how many of you read my description on the stream, but while I've played the original Bionic Commando on NES a lot, thank you. My wife just came in to tell me the game is too loud. Let me get OBS on top and let's play with it. This is a new machine for me, for streaming that is. How about now? I'll rely on the chat a little bit to make sure. It looks like my audio levels are higher than the stream, but you guys tell me. I can turn it down more. Let's drop the game. How about now? Then again, when the game gets started, it'll probably get louder. All right, great. So yeah, I don't know which version of me attempting to start the stream that I'd said what was actually happening, but this is my first time streaming on this combination of systems. I usually use a MacBook Air with an external device, but tonight I am on my PC streaming from the same box, and I've never actually used OBS on this one before. Jispy, that is double appropriate given what we were just talking about an hour ago. Awesome, so right out of the gate you can see our first change. Hal from the original Bionic Commando has now become Haley and a helicopter pilot. They didn't really explain Hal's background in the original game, but they do here. More or less. All right, so another difference is right out of the gate, level 0 is playable. I did a little bit of pre-gaming with this and didn't actually try level 0. So there's a lot of tutorial stuff here, and I'm gonna skip past that. But what I do want to grab, a little nod to the revolver graphic from the original game, is a revolver upgrade. And get out of here. So all that does is let you shoot 3 shots on screen instead of 2, so you can shoot like Mega Man's pea shooter in this one. So, while I really love the original Bionic Commando, and I think this is a very good version of it, for whatever reason, I've only played it through twice. Skills from the original game mostly hold up. But there's some slight differences in the jump timing and arm timing. So this stage plays mostly like the original one until we get to the boss. Wiretapping, on the other hand, is a really weird ball and cup kind of game. Up. So the goal is to guide the yellow ball into the green box, and then you will have successfully wiretapped. Yeah, this is still, you know, it's World War II based. So it takes place, I was rolling the intro earlier, it takes place in like 2029 or something. And even in the original game, the plot essentially is it's some point in the future, I think 200X or 20XDX or whatever. But some Third Reich is essentially trying to resurrect Hitler. Well, they're starting by... Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have done that. Anyways. When you wiretap in this game, they give you some pretty good clues over how to take care of the bosses. Yeah, I'm just remembering the button mapping. And you also get a little health reward when you successfully wiretap. But yeah, this game is very, very close to the original. You know, 90% or so in terms of plot. Like I said, they changed Hal to Haley and gave Haley more of a important role in the plot. I mean, she's your helicopter pilot, so she's kind of critical to the mission success. Oh yeah, and there's another little change there, is that you can pick up barrels. Which will become a key part of the gameplay very soon. If you like the original Bionic Commando on NES, you should definitely play this one. It is a very good homage to it, unlike the PlayStation sequel game that came out a year later. And unlike the original game, there is no experience grinding or bullet collecting. So there's no point in hanging out in this area to pick up extra life bar. You just collect life bar through the course of playing the game. This is much easier with the revolver upgrade we got in Area 0. Only having 2 shots means you have to knock that thing out a few more times. Another new weapon in the game is grenades. We didn't get those in the original game. They get used here and there.
Hey!
I frankly don't remember using them a whole lot in either of my playthroughs. Oh, and in the neutral zones you can't trigger the alarms. These are training areas. I don't really care to do them. These little syringe rooms get you a 1-up. There's no continue farming in this version like there is in the NES version. You have unlimited continues from the start, but instead you farm extra lives, which are useful for some of the longer stages. What did we get there? Not sure what that actually did. Oh, that's the flare for Area 4.
Hey!
So without continue farming, these truck interruptions become really annoying because you do get extra lives on them, but you do not. One, you can't farm extra lives every time you come on the stage. And 2, you only get 1 extra life. I guess per continue. I'm not sure if they respawn after continues. And there's no fast exit. You have to destroy the last boss. But once we get some better weapons, it gets less annoying. How's everybody's evening going? Afflicted, is Bionic Commando my favorite NES game? It's sort of like a pastime. It's one of those games where every so often I'll feel like killing an hour and just go play it end to end. I switch between that and Kid Icarus a lot for the sort of like that role in my life, just a game I pick up when I'm looking to kill time. The Mega Man series is up there. Dragon Warrior 3. It's tough to say, you know, what all my favorites are. Kind of changes on the mood. I can say that I'm not a huge Mario fan. Oh, Metroid's up there, although Metroid is a lot frustrating at times. I've never been a Metroid speedrunner. I can get through the game, but I always feel like I'm just short of getting a good speed ending, like 5 minutes late. If Child of Cascadia were in the crowd, she would be telling you what my favorite game series is, and it's not on the NES. It's Phantasy Star 1 through 4, excluding 3, and most of the Ultima series. Now, Rusty, I have to ask how you had time to take a nap, given we're both in the same time zone. Take a nap and make it to the stream. You must have a much earlier departure than I do. So I don't feel too bad about that death because I'm not in 1-up debt yet, but that's how they get you, I guess. Why excluding Phantasy Star 3? Well, I kind of enjoy Phantasy Star 3. It's definitely not great. It's certainly easier to pick up and play than 1 and 2 are. But I feel like they put most of their attention into the early game. Like, there's a lot more character development, and those characters stick around in the second generation. And you get a little more backstory between all of them in that second generation. But the second and third generation characters have basically nothing to add to the plot. And I think just because there's so many different plot lines they would have to deal with, and I don't know, truncated time schedules of the early 90s, I guess, they didn't put much effort into it. But I mean, the art's not as memorable, it's more Golden Axe style, and it doesn't really fit into the space fantasy theme that well. The music's okay, not great. 4 is by far my favorite. Probably followed by 1, then 2. So I did a little bit of a dry run on this earlier this week, and had difficulty fighting this guy, and I realized it was because I didn't have the grenades. I skipped area 1 for some reason. Well, Atlas videos, you're just gonna have to find out. I know the answer, but I'm not going to ruin the ending for everybody else.
Hey!
Oh yeah, new weapon here, the plasma repeater. Frankly, I don't use it a whole lot. It has a faster fire rate than other stuff, but it's really only useful against tech and not that much more useful than other stuff. That green chip we just got is a communicator chip. The nice thing about this one is there's actually a couple different ways they play this up, but you don't have to you don't pick items at the start of every stage, which you've probably seen. Which means there's no penalty for picking up the flares and using them. Like, you don't have to pick between that and the energy recovery device. And you also don't have to pick a communicator, which means you never have the wrong communicator. As long as you've got a communicator for the area you're in, you're good to go. So this is the Climby McClimerson level, where we'll use the plasma rifle a lot, and then probably never again for the rest of the game. I mean, I think there's certain doors or challenges you have to use a certain weapon for, but for the most part, it's useless. Oh yeah, one little sad thing that they didn't bring into the game was the ball that you could kick around, but they left this little painting of it on the side of the building. I'd almost rather not be there because it just makes me sad. So I don't think we want to jump through hacking every network. I've got full health. fought a few of these bosses. Here we'll use the plasma rifle. Another change is they got rid of the small people helicopters and replaced them with these droids, which is a rather sad change. We're in trouble now. My wife's on the stream. And in response to the commentary, there's only so many things you can say about an 8-bit game that hasn't already been said in some form or another. Otherwise, I'm just hearing myself talk about other hobbies like carburetor restoration, which I would guess precisely 0 people here are interested in. Oh, they tricked me. You didn't have to open that door with a communicator before, but now you do. Luckily, Lad's bionic arm helps him not get hurt from giant falls. Afflicted. No, I'm not a mechanic. I'm a software engineer, but in a past life, not really a past life, but last year I sold a Corvette that I owned for 20-something years. And I did a whole lot of restoration work on it, including learning how to rebuild Rochester quadrojet carburetors. So I helped a few friends through the process of rebuilding their carburetors after learning way too much about them. But automotive restoration, modification, and racing cars is another another hobby of mine. Rusty, I love it. So if you hadn't played through this game before, wiretapping will... It actually gives some really good commentary on how to beat these guys. I mean, it's very... overly expository, but the enemies will talk about how this or that machine was designed and how it's impregnable, blah blah blah, except if you do this or that thing, which nobody could ever do, so let's not worry about it. Now that the tank treads are busted, the goal is to undo all these screws, and that will ultimately expose the operator deep inside. And if you get close to the machine, you'll trick him into wanting to crush you. And then you can finish this boss fight in multiple ways. The easiest is to do the same thing again, trick him into trying to crush you. And then wait it out. And here comes the end of the boss fight. Although I really have to ask, for the guy who was operating this thing, every time he rammed that, was he just going head first into a metal wall until we pulled that metal off? Maybe it was padded on the other side. So now we've got what is my favorite weapon in the game, the bazooka. It's my favorite weapon in the first game. It's my favorite weapon in the previous game. They have nerfed it just a little bit here because they added some physics and blowback to it. So you have to be really careful when you use it that you're not standing close to it. Afflicted. So I'm no longer a programmer, I'm a manager. But when I was actively programming, most of the time I was an Android app developer programming in Java. Prior to that, I did BlackBerry, which was J2ME, Java Micro Edition, and J2ME feature phones. I've done a little bit of C++ and a little bit of C. No, I wasn't paying attention. There's mines here, and if you want to get rid of them, you can throw a grenade on top of them or swing over them, but I was talking about programming and got lost. Tell the kids thank you, wifey. One nice thing about these tanks is, unlike in the original version, there's no contact damage. So you can just sit there and spam, and unless they actually shoot you, there's nothing to really worry about. And there's a use for the grenade right there to get rid of that guy. Super Joe. One, I think everybody's just too enamored with him to make any jokes about his name. He is, after all, the baddest of badasses in this universe. There's in-canon text in the original game, and I can't remember if it's in this one, where people just absolutely revere him. And as to whether or not he's where G.I. Joe gets their name, let's see. Well, G.I. Joe predates Bionic Commando by about 20 years, but... yeah, so here we go. The Fabricator. A very sturdy piece of machinery. Conventional firearms won't scratch it, but the welding arms are sensitive and can malfunction easily. Malfunction, you mean if they were countered or punched back? Pretty much, but don't worry. It doesn't damage the Fabricator itself. It only depletes its power cells temporarily. That's all. Nothing to worry about. Maybe. When depleted, the power cells must be charged up again. During reload, the Fabricator driver is brought closer to ground. That's not good. That leaves poor McFeely vulnerable, doesn't it? I wonder if he's a relative of Mr. McFeely, like they, you know, messed his name up when his family came to the United States. Alright, let's get out of here. Oh no. Alright, that wasn't too bad. They're a little less punitive in a lot of the game here. There's fewer areas where you can fall and have to redo entire sections of the level. Like they added that little platform there that they don't have in the original. A little secret here. And we'll pick up some grenade upgrades. Which lets us throw 2 grenades. Very fancy. So, I have to wonder why they got rid of the smaller people flying helicopters, but they're okay calling this guy a dwarf. I'm not up to date on what the correct way to refer to a person of a shorter stature is, but still with this, I don't see why they got rid of the little guys flying the helicopter. Alright, so this is basically a game of Simon. The deadliest game of Simon. Some blowback, which screwed up that, and now I get to do this again. Lovely. Oh, okay. Well. Now I get to do the whole thing again. Avoid playing the game. If you don't go inside the dome, he'll be too far away from the ground for you to hit. This is probably my least favorite boss fight of the game, just because it's more of a pay attention, go slow, and don't make a mistake kind of thing. Which is kind of why I hated Metroid Dread. Anyways, there's an even more frustrating version of that later in the game. I'm not surprised I lost a life there. So one thing that's fun about this version versus the original is that they've given extra abilities to a lot of the weapons that make weapon switching more compelling. And we'll see that in a little bit with the shotgun. Let's see, what's this thing want? So that it looks like we need a claw upgrade before we go here. Metroid Dread. Yes, I hated it. I got through it. What I like about Super Metroid and the other earlier Metroidvania entries in the series is that, earlier than Metroid Dread, I mean, is that you could, you know, explore more, get more items, and sort of power your way through the game. But in Metroid Dread, there were enough game locks, you know, handcuffs that prevented you from getting enough power to really nerf a boss fight. And then a lot of stuff was just not fun. Like, most of the boss fights were like playing a rhythm game. So, bringing up the weapons again. In the original Bionic Commando, once you get the bazooka, you pretty much only use the bazooka unless you're forced to use something else temporarily. In this game, one, they have the switching mechanic, but in close quarters, the shotgun effectively becomes the bazooka without the risk of splash damage, which is awesome. gonna try a cup and ball game. I think we still have a new boss on this one, but they will start recycling the bosses, like harder versions of bosses we've seen in a bit. Getting ready for assembly. All right. So this is what when I stream Bionic Commando 1, this is what or Bionic Commando Original. This is what I call the last hard part of the game. It's not so true here. So the second half of Rearmed has some more challenges. Like I would say that the average difficulty of this game is higher, but the peak difficulty of the NES game is higher. Like, there are given moments of Bionic Commando 1 that are absolutely infuriating. There's just more of those, but not quite as infuriating in this one. I should say Bionic Commando NES. And they got rid of the giant Arnold-looking dudes and replaced them with robots here too. Which is just really sad. Why make that change? Because going back to when this game was first created, they all talked about what huge fans they were of the original game. Oh, hey, look, a secret. But then they go and do some bizarre changes. More so when we're talking about the PlayStation game. Oh, crap. Oh, yeah, that little helper thing. The noob girder. Let's go see what that secret's about. I don't think I've ever picked it up. I swear I know how to play this game. I'm just getting greedy now. Let's see how we're doing on lives. 4 lives, that's enough. I can keep playing around just a little bit. So I think the secret here is to relax. Nope. Probably too far to the left, but let's see what happens. Can't pull himself out of the water. That's good to know. Once I get down to 2 lives, if I still mess up the secret, I'm just going to stop and go on. So yeah, here's areas where you'll need to use the special specific weapons to unlock certain things. And we get a plasma rifle upgrade, so that was worth doing. Now sometimes you'll go through all the trouble of doing a secret and find out that you just got a little collectible token. Those are for the achievement unlocked types, which frankly I am not an achievement collector. But I want to see how that would work. And the pulse rifle doesn't go through barrels, which is unsurprising. Afflicted AM2R, I'm aware of it, but I've never actually played it. Did they finish the project? Because that was the one that got into trouble with Nintendo, right? Now for this boss fight, I can't remember if it's better to use the pulse rifle. Use the pulse rifle or the rocket launcher. That doesn't really matter now. Now we've got a new claw, and I can't remember what it does aside from break through that one wall. Oh, I think you can use it for other attacks. Okay, well, Haley's going to tell us anyways. Voila. Another change here is these are mechanical traps rather than being those super crazy alien looking things that we saw in the original game. I know that was abusive, but oh well. Alright, comm room. Trying to remember what this sprite was used for in the original game. It looks kind of like the neutral zone characters. Somebody just broke the fourth wall. All right. Cup and ball game, cup and ball game. Okay, I see it. maybe. And looks like I screwed up. All right, try again. You can call that one a roguelike, right? Because it changes every time you play. If the power pod had touched the floor panels, it would have been electrocuted and rendered unable to hover, but he's taking care of it. Floorboards in the power pod room. You know, these continuing theme with the Bionic Commando game is the sergeants really aren't nice to their subordinates. Now I can't get back there. If only this guy could jump half a meter. If anybody watched my previous streams, getting through that series of jumps would ruin me every single time. So the trick to this fight is to weigh him down. And then wait. Love the low-key dance music that's happening in the background. Slightly infuriating. Oh, I guess that makes it easier. For some reason I thought you had to get on top of him, but you can just pull him down to that platform and take it easy. Oh no. All right.
Hey!
Oh, MA3 has a crush on Haley. Cool. Ooh, plot twist. Jispy, you might remember this from the earlier chat. Well, I think you were the one who brought it up. I didn't realize they were going to have this level of connections in the plot between this and the PlayStation game. Get yourself a new chip. And an extra life. Yeah, Jispy, I thought so too, but I played this before I played the PlayStation game, so that little piece of plot slipped right on past me. For those who don't know, in the reboot, which is, I think it's an okay game. Not a great game, but an okay game. One, they increased the number of Bionics in the world. There's more Bionics that join the team in Rearmed 2, if I remember right, and they basically get outlawed sometime before the start of the original Bionic Commando. And this character, Nathan Spencer, is left without his arm at the start of the game, has to go stop whatever plot, but through the course of the game you find out that the Bionics, the only way they can get them to successfully work with a human is by tying them to somebody the wearer is intimately attached to. So in this case, his wife's soul is inside his bionic arm. Sorry for ruining an awful game for you for those who haven't played it before, but that's one of the two plot twists in the game, and it was pretty well joked about on the internet for being fairly moronic. Oh, and one little fun thing that happens is if you're listening closely when you kill those guys riding on the motorcycle, they do a Wilhelm scream, which my sister-in-law absolutely loves every time she hears a Wilhelm scream in the movie. Rusty, yes, they do have the interrogation room, and it follows the rules of the Japanese version of the game. This is one of my favorite feats in the series here. Now I can't remember how much work you have to do to unlock the comm room door in this one. I think it's the same as the original, 2 communications and then... Oh, this must be MA3. Yeah, I played through Rearmed 2, and I mean, it's definitely more of an original Bionic Commando game than the PlayStation reboot was, but I don't know, it wasn't as fun, but it, you know, if you can find a way to hunt it down and play it, it's worth playing if you really like Bionic Commando. That said, I played it through once and then never touched it again, so there's that. All right. Rather than doing crazy jumping, I'm just gonna cheat and slink on past it. Risk averse is what they call me. I like how this guy talks about staying light when he's carrying, like, must be 100 pounds of metal on his left arm. All right. Sometimes I feel really zen with the wiretapping games, and sometimes very much not. Yeah, Afflicted, this one is worth playing. If you like Bionic Commando, it's just a slightly different way of playing it. I would say raising, like I said, raising the average difficulty makes it generally more fun, because the things that I hated the most were some of the really obnoxious jumping, like we saw at the start, or the midpoint of Area 6. That's gone, thankfully. We'll see some levels later on. Like, the second half of the game is legitimately harder, where it wasn't. Well, here's an annoyance. You can't shoot up when there's a, or claw up when there's a door. Let's see, what is this boss fight? I think you can grind for health in this area too? Maybe not. I try not to swear on stream, but there was one. I really like how they've updated this guy as opposed to just being a bullet fodder to... I didn't show this in the first boss fight. But his, he has a bevy of medals. I'm gonna drink some water real quick. A bevy of medals on his chest that, well, have a functional purpose. So yeah, as long as he stays alive, the army keeps coming. But once he goes out, you just have to finish off the screen. Afflicted, regarding your bad habit, I think anybody who has a Steam account has that same bad habit. And for your own safety, I recommend you never look at Humble Bundle. I've been talking too much today. Yeah. Nice. see. I should have done something at the beginning. Yeah, I haven't signed up for Humble Choice yet. Every so often I get close, but I'm okay with being 80% damaged as far as that addiction goes. So in this part of the game, you can start collecting upgrades for your weapons, and they're worth getting. Quite a few of them are anyways. Like that pulse rifle upgrade was really good. Now I'm not sure what opens that door, or if there's actually anything interesting on the other side of it. Without being able to safely use the bazooka, this area is quite a bit harder. But I do like that they've made the main weapon quite a bit more useful. And here's, you know, canon about Joe. He's everybody's favorite. All right. So I actually missed the clue because I got distracted reading about Earthbound. Ugh. They've made this section slightly more annoying too. One thing I don't understand is why grenades don't hurt you, but the bazooka does. Sure, it was a game balance idea, but whatever, I guess. So Jispy, there's some truth to what you're saying about the maps being inaccessible. Like there's the area 6, you know, the last area just before you start heading northeast to the more difficult section of the map. There is actually a wall up there, or a little area up there you can get around, and in the Japanese version I think they have 1-ups and continues and stuff up there, but in this version, or in the North American version, it's just an empty room that you pat yourself on the back for getting there. And hey James, good to see you here. Fairly different. I've been kind of running through the differences as we go. The way I summarize it is that the average difficulty is higher. They've rebalanced the weapons so that you have to think about which ones you're going to use more often and switch between them as you play, which you can't do in the original. I mean, there's a shoelaces joke, classic. So let's see. I need to remember what the secret was for this particular version of the fight. Section of map. Oh boy. This is what I get for not paying attention to the wiretapping section. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit anxious about this one. He rams. Okay, I remember how this one goes. Button tapping extraordinaire. I just had to kill him that time. We just got the vector cannon, which I think is the last new weapon of the... Oh, no. Not the last new weapon of the game. We still have to get Super Joe's machine gun. James, what kind of TV do you use for the AVS? Is it a CRT or? Were there any CRTs that had HDMI support? I can't remember. Jispy, the Retro AVS is, you know, a Nintendo/Famicom clone console made by a company called Retro USB. You can go to their website. I have one. Quite a few people in the chat have one. I know Rusty has one as well. It has a 72-pin connector, a 60-pin connector for Famicom, built-in HDMI. It's powered by 5-volt mini USB. Has 4 score up front, so you can hook up 4 NES controllers to it. And let me see what I'm missing. You can hook up FDS and all that stuff to it too. It's pretty comprehensive. Yeah, I'd say comprehensively built. Oh yeah, so Rusty, here's your scene. Let's see what the guy has to say outside first before I mean, I really like the color text that they add in these games, but I've been kind of skipping it tonight because I don't know how long the game will go this time around. I'm pretty sure you can shoot the guy, but we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Just do that for old time's sake. Alright, where are we off to now? So another change that they made from the NES game is those secret tunnels between 17 and 14 and 15 and 18 are now very, very difficult bionic arm challenges. A little bit of a Groundhog Day moment there. So let's see. This is the classic Destroyer 3 section. Oh yeah. Destroyer became Desmond Troyer. So in the original game, if you knew that Destroyer 3 was the one that had the machine gun, you could just go there. But they've at least put it behind a "You Freed Joe" flag here. Let's see, how am I doing on lives? 7. I guess we can try connecting the helmet, collecting the helmet. These tunnels are a good analog for what the rest of the game is going to be like. Oh boy. Call this high advanced Bionic Commando platforming here. Gotcha, didn't I? I thought I was gonna die too. Afflicted, no, you can't modify because there's no SD card input, so you have to use a flash card with them. And of course, now that I'm here, I couldn't see that bottom platform anymore, so that's great. Yeah, pretty much Jispy. This might be more frustrating than Gutsman stage. Particularly all of the just waiting for the timing of the platforms to be beneficial. This is not up there on my list of favorite game mechanics, is platform timing. These might be on a sequence that they don't ever sync up. Great. I'm not actually sure what the remedy is here. Well, now I know that that was a red herring platform. This is one area where I miss just being able to go through the combat stage like you could in the original game. So basically the only way to get through this, unless you have the map memorized, is to wait, kill yourself a couple times and figure out the right way to go through. So I guess that's a good homage to the NES. This right here is grappleable, yep. Oh, that was close. And there's the helmet. Almost not worth it, but... blood pressure went up right there, I felt it. I think at this point, I'm just gonna play the easy card and get out of here. I feel a little bit guilty, but that wasn't fun. Alright, so here is where you get to learn how to use the vector cannon. And this one comes in useful for enemies behind cover, particularly like the wall droids. Yeah, the ABS is great for streaming. Not to mention you just have less stuff between the console and the computer that's capturing the data. I got rid of the chopper droids, which makes this level slightly less infuriating. Yeah, James, did you ever do a speed test on your internet connection? Because it's either that or your computer's not strong enough to process, but I would think it's more likely speed, given that lowering the bit rate helps. So we're about to see a really, really fun change from the original game, although I did like the original boss of this. They've replaced him with another fun boss. My advice for anybody who's playing this game for the first time is whenever you see a platforming section start, make sure you've got the shotgun equipped, because you'll likely need it. But you may call me little brother. I should have worked on a Duke Nukem voice for this one. No one in my family is that ugly. That was a broken FSA hero, I can't quite remember. I think maybe the secret here is to use the vector cannon. Vector cannon doesn't work on him. I think that's a grenade there. Or not a grenade, a mine. Oh boy. Well, that was cute. This fight's requiring about 90% of my processing power, sorry. So, avoid getting claw to the head. And then another fight with him. Okay. In a bigger room. A much bigger room. I think part of my problem is I get so into the music that I get distracted from talking. I've got a subwoofer on my setup over here and it's like a dance party in the office. Yeah, Bionic Smash Bros. That's pretty accurate. There we go. That's one less nightmare to deal with.
Thanks.
So my favorite thing to do is pretend that Super Joe is Snake, given how awesome he is, although he doesn't have a beard, clearly.
Hold on, Captain. This battle ain't over yet. The Imperials are planning something far worse than we feared. The documents they stole contain schematics of a massive weapons platform. Metal Gear. The original designers could never complete it, but the Imperials have almost finished construction.
Now, Nathan, which is a terrible name, is clearly a Duke Nukem homage. I'm not really sure who they modeled Joseph Gibson at, if anyone. I mean, he definitely has a Chris Evans look going on, but this game kind of predates Chris Evans' popularity. Thanks, Atlas.
Hey!
So, in the original game, the machine gun sucks. You only use it in the Japanese version to unlock a couple doors, or one door really. Or maybe you don't even use it for that, but either way, you need it so you can go on to the last part of the stage. But in this game, it's a little bit better. No, it's a lot better. Alright, Desmond. I love this thing.
Hey!
Now the upgrade for it is also worth getting because it increases the destructive power and the rate of fire. And we're going to find out... Oh, well. I was going to talk about how hard that was. I didn't think I would do it on the first try. Alright, let's get out of here. Have a good night, James. Thanks for coming. All right. Yes, this machine gun is better than the one from the original game for anybody who still didn't believe me. All right, area 10. What do we got over there? There's something over there. The shotgun upgrade is also generally worth getting, but for sake of expediency, I won't get it tonight. Unless we stumble into it. The vector upgrade is worth getting too. But it's kind of more of a completionist thing. Let's see here. Well, I might actually be getting the vector upgrade right now, and that's worth doing if it's this easy. So yeah, this makes the vector cannon have twice as many rounds, which pulse rifle upgrade makes it super useful. Can't remember if the little knife wall is in this one. Yep. Technically don't need it. You can use the blocks there. Yeah, the music does have some pretty strong Mega Man vibes. In some ways, this is like playing an N64 era 3D game, the little ball and cup thing. This is a disaster, you nerd. Yeah, I wonder who did the composition for this one. I mean, obviously it was designed to work on the NES by, you know, late 80s era Capcom, so it's somewhat expected to sound like Mega Man. And that sucks. I don't know if I'll be able to get back onto the... Nope. Just be, that's nice. Power pod, though. But the power pad would be a good way to, you know, trick Americans where they're weakest, and that's at cardio. Wow. I swear I know how to play this game. level. So this is why when I played this the first time, I kept trying to get on top of it, because I forgot that you could pull them down to the platforms in the original version of the stage. I'm doing poorly. This is generally a much harder version of the stage. Jispy, I think they might have gotten rid of all the generators. I hate to break it to you. Oh, that's infuriating. Don't worry, we've got this. I made the mistake of forgetting to reload the machine gun. As much as I love playing these games, I hate repeating myself. Like, the worst would be having to go through a stage again. And I know you guys don't mind because I've been on the other side of the camera and know that we all enjoy watching somebody suffer, but for some reason I'm totally afraid I'm wasting people's time. Alright, so that's the reappearance of the energy recovery pills from the first stage in the original game. Here it's just a life bar extension. There's just something therapeutic about the rate of fire on this thing. Alright. In the original, this might have been my least favorite stage, the furnace. I can't remember if they've upgraded it in any manner in this version. And by upgrade, I mean made it less annoying. Rusty forgot to say, especially not from you. The shotgun kickback makes a lot of the platforming a lot easier. I don't know if it's come out in other streams or whatever, but I'm a huge Conan O'Brien fan, so self-deprecating humor is up there on my list. He definitely has the Prince of Persia Sands of Time gait and the way he holds the knife and everything. Another Super Joe is awesome reference. And then, of course, a quick trip to Ball Heaven. Ha, Sierra Nova, different old words. I don't know as many words as he does, probably. Good to see you here. I'm going to take a 60-second break, but I'm going to leave it paused on this guy right here. I think it's an appropriate scene to leave him with, and I will be back ASAP. All right. I looked at Atlas's response for a second. It took me way too long to figure out what he was getting at. Oh boy. I do love the cheeky references to the original typos. I made the mistake of forgetting that those guys are up there. Oh, I was looking at the chat and didn't realize I was getting hurt. I thought those were jumping platforms. Oh well. Let's see how we're doing. 2 lives. Perfect. That is not a great number of lives to be doing this with. Well, I think I'm going to pull a James. And rather than try to get through this with a minimum number of lives. Go ahead and take a continue here. Let's see. Well, that got me 3 lives. Not super impressed, but let's go on. That knife guy was pretty brutal this time, and I'm not happy with the way he treated me. So yeah, Serenova, this is a Steam well, it's not a Steam remake. It's a remake made by Grin, who published or developed it for Capcom. If I remember right, Grin is a Swedish company. At any rate, I'm playing the Steam version. The first time I played this was on the PlayStation 3, and then I got it a couple years ago on Steam sale or Humble Bundle or something, and played through it a second time, and this is my 3rd time playing through it. Of the 2 remakes, so this the original Bionic Commando was remade on the Game Boy very, soon after the NES release, like I want to say late 80s or early 90s. Well, Game Boy was late 80s, so early 90s there was a Bionic Commando for Game Boy that was a bit of a remake. But this came out in 2008, many years later, and it's much more accurate to the story and gameplay of the original. Like, there's a few levels at the start of the Game Boy version that are very similar. Alright, I'm gonna focus. Because this is definitely a game of Simon now. And I had the wrong weapon equipped, so that's fantastic. Machine gun. Awesome. I thought I might have to die there, but hey, I'll take it. What? No damage bonus? Aw, somehow I didn't get that.
Hey!
All right, we're just about in it for the final countdown. Let's see, yeah, the 1-ups do respawn. All right. At the surface, level 12 might seem at the surface, this level might seem very similar to the original, but it deviates pretty quickly. Serenova, I never followed Grin much after this. They made Bionic Commando Rearmed, Bionic Commando PlayStation, and then they made Rearmed 2, and then I just stopped paying attention to them. Because I'm a bad person. I'll have to check that out. Do they still exist as a company? Oh, how many more cup and ball games am I going to have to play tonight? I'm not sure, like, the cup and ball game, great, do it once, it's fine, but I'm surprised they kept it in, because it's, I don't know, it's just a waste of time, really. It doesn't really feel like it fits into the rest of the theme of the game. Alright, so Jispy, you were asking about the generators. This is the replacement for the generators here. Not a single generator to be found in this game. And again, like I said a few times now, they did a lot of things that, you know, shows they really respected this game, but getting rid of the generators entirely? Pretty weird. I guess there was an elevator there? Cool. Well, that would have been useful. Yeah, it's really weird that they got rid of them because they were such a core part of the other game. I mean, I can understand not having every single generator in the game, but at least have some. Or a plot with a broken one or something, I don't know. Well, that's too bad about Grin. They were... I mean, I liked all the games. I did like the PlayStation game. I just didn't like the last little bit of the plot. That is beautiful, Jispy. And Super Joe and Lad, that's a friendship that will never ever end until the end of Bionic Commando 2009. Alright, let's do some vector cannon work here, which massively simplifies this part of the game. I'm gonna have to look up Grin and Overkill and Forberg. And see what they've done lately. Alright. So everybody hates this. Well, I hate it slightly more now after that, but I think the Bionic mechanics are just a little bit simpler. And here we're gonna find the everybody's favorite plot twist. I'll get quiet so we can build some suspense here. I'm afraid you've arrived too late. Metal Gear is already fully operational. Oh good, they're not reviving the leader after all. Uh-oh, zombie Hitler. You damn fool. Can't have that quote gone. I guess that's a Charlie Chaplin emoji? No, it's the mustache glasses face. You've located the albatross. I think, I mean, to an extent, yeah. Spencer looks like anime character, but to me he really evokes a Duke Nukem vibe. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. I haven't done that voice in years and I can already tell it's gonna agitate my throat. So there is a reference to generators or reactors here, but Joe's gonna take care of it. So this section is low on my list of parts of the game. Basically have to pull a bunch of switches, and after you pull the switches, the room mechanics change. You wake up all the robots. More timed platforming. And not timing, timed. Just hurry up and wait. Don't get good. Just wait. Be patient. Well, that was lucky. I did not proceed with caution, I got hasty. If I had the vector cannon equipped from the start, that wouldn't have happened. Otherwise, this is just a delicate walk across the platforms. There's no pattern, there's no logic, just walk and wait. Now here, if you're not careful, you can end up falling back down the platform and repeating all that stuff back down the tunnel. Another hurry up and wait section, everybody's favorite. I can't remember which one of these tunnels or areas is my least favorite, but they're all kind of infuriating in their own way. Oh, and these barrels, they're dangerous, so again, hurry up and wait. Alright, that's a timed platform mechanic I have since discovered. Basically the goal here, clear out anything that might blow up before you attempt to protect yourself from the droids, or the drones. Oh my god. There's just so much hurry up and wait in this part of the game. That at least turns the gas off, so maybe this one's better coming back. Yeah, that's the grog refinement chamber. Rusty, I'm sure that you've played the Monkey Island series. Jusby was streaming that earlier today and I watched his stream for a bit. Alright, the good news is we have one barrier left to go. I forgot that each one of these doors represents a different barrier. So there was a gas cloud there earlier, the pipe would have been all the way down, and now we need to get rid of the electricity. Oh look, what a unique mechanic. A barrier that's on for a few seconds and then turns off briefly. I got lost in my, what's the word? Oh, despondency. Now I'm feeling very despondent. Anyways. I made the mistake. I hurried up and I did not wait. I can't tell how much the monotone in my voice is affected versus actually real. So as much as I'm hating on this part of the stage, once we get past it, it does get a lot better. Here's somebody having fun, so it means it's time to get the vector cannon out and start killing things. Okay, that one's not ready to go. Oh my god. So at this point, I absolutely love the lack of music. Like, it really makes the ambiance. And it kind of reminds me of Mega Man 2 when you're in the corrosive liquid tunnels at the end of the game. This section here reminds me of one of the intros to, I think it was Area 11, where you run through and there's droids and soldiers. I think they pulled that out and, you know, copied and pasted over here, or cut and pasted, I should say. Let's see what we've got. All right. Still have to wait for the pipe. Extra life, that's nice. I've got 5. Okay, I'm feeling better. And here is where it gets real. And I might be quiet for just a little bit here. For reasons like that. I think the basic safety mechanism here is to, especially on those single width platforms, is to stand on 2, because they're almost never 2 of them empty at once. Or dropped at once, I should say. But I remember this section being an absolute nightmare the first time I played through it. And yet somehow it's less infuriating than a Mega Man block challenge. Oh, and one of my favorite comments when I walked through this game the first time, I thought, imagine being somebody who worked at this place. How would you get from point A to point B without having a bionic arm? Did they have a helicopter shuttle or something to help them? Like, this place is an OSHA nightmare. I used the grenades even though I said I wouldn't. And it's like we designed this place so that the only person who could possibly break in is the one person who's breaking in. Alright, more switch action, not the good kind of switch. forget what that thing does. Undoubtedly something great. Is this open yet? I think it's... Alright, so we have to find another switch later so we can grab that. Yeah, I think the rest of your theory is right, like... bait and switch and... Well, that was something. Rubbing the back of my head is my anti-swear. Or I should say anti-meltdown. I'm not gonna lie, this is lightly infuriating that you can't see the platform below you. Come on. Kind of given up on that FSA logo. I think it's a full health recharge, but it's better to get to the end of the stage. And just be. I saw your chat come in right after I said that. And here we go. We're gonna find out the bazooka backstory.
Hey!
feel just a little bit sad about that. But now stuff is quite real, and here's our little learning game for the rocket launcher. I don't think there's anything else interesting over here. Nope. Nice, Jispy. Time for the, I guess this would be the part of Metal Gear Solid 3 where the really long theme song plays.
Numbers up, monster.
You don't belong in this world. Alright, time for some more games of Simon. This is the deadliest game of Simon. But honestly, it's a little bit easier than the Fabricator. The only thing you have to watch out for is if you wait too long, you can blow the rockets up even if you hit them. And there's a reasonably strong chance I'm not going to survive this one, but there we go. Next one should be fine. What's up, Haley? Walk it off. Yeah.
Liquid!
Let me do it that again.
Liquid!
I mean, I appreciate this take on the Hitler fight quite a bit. Worst I've ever done in this fight. Oh my god.
Your number's up, monster. Spencer, I've destroyed the main reactor. The Albatross is going to crash. We need to evacuate. Go down and find the emergency exit. I'll wait for you there. Move it!
Oh, this room looks suspiciously different. remember if you can bypass this fight, like you can bypass the one in the original Bionic Commando. It looks like you can. Yeah. This is surprisingly 8-bit sounding and yet not. And there we go, now it gets legit. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I like this mix of chiptune and actual waveform. I wouldn't say every bit of music in this game is better than the original, but there's a lot that's really, an interesting take or a really fun take on the original music. And being a fan of synthwave and trance and all that stuff, like, it elevates it for me. Oh, this is like the Bionic Commando themed Metal Gear version. Oh, they used Og, that's cool. Big boss. Oh boy, the super hard difficulty level, that's what I want to do. I picked medium. I've never tried hard. In my advanced age, I'm not as interested in doing that kind of stuff anymore. And that's interesting. Preferred weapon revolver. That says a lot about the way they've rebalanced the weapons in the game, because if they had that mode in the NES, it would be bazooka. The second you get it, you don't turn it off. And what's fun is, because it's got a continue mode, if you want to go and unlock all the secrets, you can. You can actually now play through the rest of the stages with the remote control bazooka, which is super awesome. But I'm not going to do that, because I'm not a completionist anymore. I'm certainly not on a live stream. So yeah, that's that for tonight. If you do decide to play this game, Afflicted, and anybody else who's running on Windows 10 or later, the game will crash on first launch. I can't remember if you're on the Discord, but if you need help with it, go ahead and join the Discord and ping me. I'm Elucidus on there. I did a web search, found some bypass to the crash. Like, I applied that to this installation of the game 3 or 4 years ago, so I don't know exactly what I did, but it does work on Windows 10. It just crashes right out of the box. The other thing you have to watch out for is, I'm on a WQHD monitor, so 1440p, not 4K. And when I quit the game, if I don't reset the video settings to 1920 by 1080 full screen, the next time I start the game, it'll show up in this little postage stamp size thing in the middle of the screen, and that basically unplayable because it only shows the upper left quadrant of the video space. And you have to go and manually edit the render settings file, which is in the game local files under, like, I think it's data or settings/support or data settings, something like that. Support data settings. There's a render settings file you need to edit by hand, and it's 1920 space 1080 windowed equals false. There's also some really weird stuff, like the game will let you set the resolution. Like I can do the full 1440. Actually, this is ultra wide 1440 that my monitor supports, but then the wiretapping game doesn't work for whatever reason. So I just run it 1080p windowed and everything works fine. I don't think they predicted that screens would get bigger than that. There must be some integer math or something that blows up when they run it greater than 1080p. I don't know, but even a game from 2008 is a relic now. They didn't predict things that would happen in the future. Just be regarding the Discord, there's a link that's good for the week in the description of the stream. It's at the very bottom. Aside from that, I think you're all obviously super familiar with big old words, so me telling you to go support his channel is superfluous, redundant, whatever big old word I could throw in there. But yeah, that's it. Bionic Commando Rearmed goes on sale every so often for $3. Absolutely worth $3. I would pay as much as $5 for it, maybe more. I mean, in 2008 I probably paid $20 for it, and I didn't regret that decision. So yeah, go enjoy it. Or if you have a PlayStation 3, you probably can't download it from the PlayStation Store, so too bad. All right, that's it for me. Feel free to say hello on Discord, and I'm gonna call Bionic Commando Rearmed 70% done. Find ye old OBS. Now I should have audio. All right, for whomever stuck around for me to properly say goodbye. I can't remember if I said this before or after I switched the video feeds, but I hadn't properly set up all of my OBS themes on this PC since I usually stream off the MacBook. That was one of the last things I said, and then I said, I will do my best James impression and say, bye.